Hey, what's going on, guys? So if you've seen my last vlog, you know I had a visit to Procom to change out my transmission fluid and differential fluid. While they were there, they noticed a few things that was wrong with the car. One being that my steering rack boot was torn, so I ordered a new boot. Actually ordered two, just because if one's going, the other side's probably going. But for today, I'm going to be changing the passenger side, which is ripped. So I'm just getting ready right now. I did buy 555 pieces of Cotter Pins. It was like 10 bucks on Amazon, so I got a whole kit. And I also got a tie rod tool remover, which I'll show you how they use this. Hopefully it'll make my job a little bit easier and quicker. But for right now, I'm going to remove the passenger side front rim and take a look at how bad the boot is torn. Alright, so as you can see in there, it is torn. You can, like, in half. So you can really see that it's busted and needs to be replaced. Here's a better look. Whoa, actually torn into 3 pieces. So yeah, that's no good. Because this is supposed to be keeping all the dirt and debris out from your steering rack, and it's not doing that. So I'm going to end up replacing all of this. So in order to save myself from having to get an alignment, I'm going to remove this end of the tie rod, pop this off the knuckle, and then slide the new boot over it. So first step to doing that is to remove this cotter pin and then loosen this castle nut and then push this tie rod off the knuckle. Alright, so step one, you got to remove the cotter pin. Just pry it up and bend it back so that you can pull it out. I just sprayed some WD-40 for those of you that are interested in what I sprayed. It's just to help loosen it, and then hopefully it'll also help me take off the castle nut. So yeah, just take your time with it. All right, so I think it's good to note that you're gonna need new cotter pins. So I think it's good practice to have new cotter pins whenever you do something like this, because mine just rusted off. Now to remove the castle nut, it is a 19 millimeter. There you go, 19 millimeter. So we're gonna just try and have it removed. Okay, like so. Castle nut is removed. Definitely want to clean this out, make sure there's no corrosion or anything inside when you put this back on. Also going to want to clean this out, the bolt to the tie rod. And now this is where this trusty tool comes in. So in order not to rip this boot, I'm gonna insert this tool, and this is gonna go on top of the tie rod bolt, and essentially, move the camera here. Push the bolt out for me, or push the tie rod out. There you go. And like that, tie rod is loose, and it didn't rip the boot here. Alright, so before I go and cut off the other boot, I want to make sure I can get the new boot onto the tie rod and into position. So in order to do that, the trick is to get the Ziploc bag and wrap the tie rod so the boot doesn't get caught here and rips, because that would mean you'll need another boot. So, but what I'm doing is I'm double bagging it, and then I'm going to take some anti-seize grease and I'm going to cover the whole bag so it just slides through. Cover that whole bag, and then maybe grease a little bit on the inside here. And then here we go, slide it on. And there is the end. And just slowly extend and extend. Alright, I got hung up over here. As you can see, it took me like 20 minutes, but I ended up having to insert a flathead and essentially, so you can see all this ripping, pry this all the way over this knuckle. And don't be intimidated, because as soon as I got over the fact that I didn't care anymore and whether this ripped or not, it went on. So make sure you lube this up and it'll slide over. In between my debate of whether I'd be able to get this over or not, there is this piece that sits over here, I guess, to block the boot from sliding. And it's a 10mm head, and you're gonna have to remove that in order to access the pin that's holding the new boot on and sliding it all the way, because it was hard enough to fit this through that hole, and you're never gonna get it through here. So just remove it. It's 10mm, quick and easy. All right, now we are going to remove the old one. So first thing is to remove the clips. And hopefully I'm aiming that in the right direction. So this is the inner clip, and we're just going to cut that off. Alright. Okay. There you go. Clips off. on both sides, and now we're just going to take a razor blade and cut straight down and cut it off. Try not to cut your fingers or any lines. And it'd probably be a good idea with eye protection. This doesn't rip, but totally. So just take your time. It seems to be working for me if I pull one in just to add some tension. Then I can cut right through it. Let's see if I can sort this next piece. Alright. And there it is. Probably gonna spray some WD-40 around here to clean this up and then wipe it off with a towel. Now, even though this isn't mandatory and this probably won't do anything, every tutorial I've seen, people have done this, so I'm just gonna do it anyway. Just pack it with grease. Now we can slide the boot all the way on. Now you can remove your Ziploc bags and basically reassemble. So in the box they give you 2 zip ties, one big, one small. I'm assuming the big one is for the back end and the small one is for that little front end piece. And I got this off of Amazon if you guys are looking to do the same thing. I paid about $9 per boot, and then again $10 for that box of cotter pins. But first we're going to do the back here, slide it on and zip tie. Okay. So there, it slips right on, and we're going to zip tie it the same place I cut the metal bracket off. Slide the zip tie on. And just to clean it up. Alright, so a little quick note as I was putting this back, it doesn't hurt to put a little anti-seize on them if you plan on doing them again. For this, I actually don't know, so better to be safe than sorry than have it corrode and then you stripping bolts. So, anti-seize, Permatex, anti-seize I guess whatever, but it's a good practice. Alright, so lastly, once you got your castle nut back on, you just want to replace the cotter pin. I'm going to lube this a little bit with some anti-seize and then bend it back. Alright, so there, just basically bend it and put it in a position so it won't slide out. And then you're done. Clean up and put your wheel back on. Alright, so finally, this is the before and after. This is before, and then this is why they always recommend to use a new cotter pin. I end up using the 1/8 by 1 1/4, but you have all different sizes to choose from, so if you ever need them for any other projects, I'm pretty much set. So 10 bucks, you know, might as well just buy it so you have them. As for the boot, this is the before. Obviously there wasn't a slit down the middle, but this is pretty much how it was, torn up. And this is the after. So this is the brand new one. Beck & Arnley, part number 103-3069. Again, I got this off of Amazon. This was around 10 bucks. As was this, 10 bucks, so total this was 30. And then the tool here, which was really helpful, was around 40 bucks. And yeah, I recommend getting the tool instead of trying to bang out your tie rod, unless you want to try and do that, but then you go with the risk of destroying your tie rod or the threads. But yeah, it was a quick and easy job. It took me roughly an hour, hour and a half, but it was worth it. And now I can rest easy knowing that no dirt's gonna get into my steering rack. So thanks again for watching. Please subscribe if you haven't already. Other than that, I'll catch you guys on the next video. See ya.